Alrighty, good morning everybody. We're at one of the bullfrog bees' yard, and we're going to learn how they feed their bees and give them some supplements, and then we're going to run over and we're going to do the Golden Prairie Honey Farm bees. I'm going to go over here and talk to Harland and Steven here in just a second. So we'll be right back.
So here's our setup in the yard where there's no canals, ditches, or anything like that. We got water barrels. We have a dry feed barrel for winter. You don't start that till about September because they won't touch it before then because they've got stuff out there. So we put out dry feed, which we're using B-Pro. There's other products to use, but B-Pro seems to be one they like to go after a lot. So we just do it the simple way. We do it right there with a box and leave it open in the bottom. So today we're going to put on Urethra Boost. It's a queen stimulant. Gives them a good boost. Possibly lay some more eggs this late when there's a dearth. It's good for when there's a honey dearth or when there's not that much pollen and stuff out there to give the queen a little kick. So that's what we're putting on today. And I buy it at Bradshaw Honey. So we just get a free plug. Yeah. So we'll get it. It's one scoop. And that's it. Pretty fast. Bars, like I said, we have a lot of screws on for the wind. So if it's got a screw on that, and we just spread it right over the top there.
We put a brick on on top of every one of our hives.
Yeah, that's a lot of bricks.
Yes.
But there's also ways that you guys might look at where they put a strap on, and then when they're working the hives, they just leave the strap laying down. Mm-hmm. And then they put in there these little quick connect straps. You can get them at Harbor Freight.
Yep.
You know, some people will do that when they're shipping here and stuff, and it keeps the boxes together. But you guys have a U-clip or a W-clip.
We got W.
Okay, because then you can't really pull them too tight together. But you also have a migrational lid on top, so you can, because it shouldn't pull it together on the top. Mm-hmm. And we just. Make sure you give them a little shot of smoke so that you're not smashing them with the wax that's on the lid. And you know, if it was a little sunnier, a lot of times that queen's on top of the lid. You know. And this is Urethra Boost here. Product here, it smells really good, really nice.
Yeah, it does.
And by the time, when we start putting it on here, by the time we finish, these bees, they'll have already got it gone. And it's, where's the scoopers, Adam? Okay. So you got 4, Adam, and one, and then more in the boxes, and we just pour it into these and go. Really simple. Really simple. And then what we'll do, these guys are going to stay here and check feed real quick when we're done. And they might have put Be Healthy in there because I had told them to, and then I forgot to tell them not to anymore. Yeah. I cheat. Huh?
That's what we use.
Well, when you're in the mountains and stuff, you can get it in like this, and you don't get that stuff flying out. Ah. You know, when you're trying to light it with a lighter, it only takes one little string like that, and those little strings will fly forever.
Yeah, I saw somebody cut a hole in the side of theirs and put a little tube in it.
To light?
Stick the lighter in the bottom.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
I like to use this old stuff. Some of my guys don't.
Is that you? Okay.
Me what?
Messaging.
So is that wet or anything?
No. No, when we're in the hills and it's really dry, sometimes I won't even use smoke in those mountains. and they look like that. But what we'll do is we'll cut a smaller piece like this, and we'll get it going really good, and then that's what we'll do on top. We'll lay a wet piece so no hot ambers can come out. You know, and,
Makes sense.
but we don't wet it at all. The key is to have your smoker stuff. A lot of people will put a piece in only like that. Puts out a lot of smoke, but if you feel it on the end, burning little wings off and stuff, so you want to have it stuffed pretty good. And someone like Manuel, they're really good at cleaning their smokers out and keeping them clean, and their smoke really good.
I'm terrible about cleaning house smoke.
Yeah, you got to clean that. You got to clean that little pipe.
Yeah.
You know, and
Morning, Manfred. Morning, Colin.
and they're still cold, so you know we get it on top. They're going to poof up quite a bit. That's another thing when it's time to inspect. Your weather has to be right. You know, sometimes these inspectors get in a big hurry and they're wanting to come out too early.
Yeah,
and
down, settle up in the bottom.
Yeah, and then they give you a rating that could be 3 frames less than what the temperature it needs to be, how much wind it needs to be, as well as how much cloud cover.
And balloon.
Yeah, because if it's really cloudy and cool, you know, bees are going to be clustered up.
Yeah. 10% of balloon.
Oh.
Yeah, you want it done. You know, like last year we had inspectors that didn't get out till 3 weeks after bloom. The problem was we had 20 bad thunderstorms before that, where it was like this, and your bees are all out flying, and then this thunderstorm comes in and it knocks out all the bees that are in the field, and then they say, well, you went 7.26. Well, that's still pretty good. You know, since all the bees are dead, why didn't you have time to get behind? And that's when, hey, if they're behind, they need to get somebody else in there to help them. You know, but inspection is kind of a newer thing that's going on, and so like, you know, if you say, hey, no, I didn't like, he will grower. He's not, you know, he's a friend of mine, and
How many you want filled up?
one for each. It's I told him don't do me any favors. You know, I want to know because I want to keep good bees. You know.
Stuff smells like lemon.
Oh yeah, it's probably got
Good morning,
lemongrass
Eddie.
in it.
Thanks for showing up.
And it smells like it make a good drink. So when we do this, it's boom. It was an even scoop. It doesn't have to be heaping or anything. Even scoop. That's all it takes. So what they recommend on this is if you have there's therapeutic, and what's the other one?
Therapeutic is therapeutic.
The healing dose. And then they say to give it another one every week. We're on our second round of this.
So you did this last week.
Well, we finished. Hit here, most of them have got 2 already. So, so we're doing that, but on a therapeutic dose, you put 2 scoops.
So if there's a weak hive and you need to,
Yeah, if you want to,
You
if you think they've got, if you really want to get them going, this just helps them with their guts. It promotes them to get their guts in shape to handle all this stuff that's going on, diseases and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
May help with tracheomite, not listed for it, but you know, anytime you got lemongrass and wintergreen, like in the Bee Healthy and stuff like that, that helps with the tracheomite. But it's not a diagnosis for it. But it helps promote good gut health.
okay.
And if you have good gut health in bees, they can fight off a lot of the stuff that's damaging the bees. All right, and it's very. What we're gonna do is just. Oh, I already got. if it's got a screw in it, this one I'm just gonna pop back. See, I got a patty, so I don't want to smash too many bees. And a lot of times when the sun starts hitting these boxes, that queen will be on the top. So you want to make sure the queen's not on the top. This is kind of a test yard on this patty. So first yard, you got the thing. Even scoop, sprinkle it around. Now, if you know you got a bunch of brood, that's how you want to do it. You want to sprinkle it around, just like that, if the brood's right in there. You don't just want to coat the brood with it in the eggs. And then I'll just put the lid back on, go to the next one. Maybe some smoke go down, make sure there's no queen on the lid.
Good morning, James. Could you tell us about the powder again, what it is?
Boost. Honey, how's that sound?
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's a stimulant. These will be all over this when we come back. It's cold, but they should be eating on it already and almost gone. On a hot day or a warm day, if the sun was hitting these boxes, it'd be gone by the time we're done. They'll have it eaten.
So when you say when we come back, we're coming back to this one today, or?
No. And we've got to the end of the yard, we come back here and look at these and this stuff will be gone.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, and that's basically what and give it a little puff, make sure your patty's still straight, and you can just
Good morning, James.
reach in with it.
Good morning, Bob.
And that's it. Very simple.
We're over here at Bullfrog Bees with Henry and Steven are working his hives, and then we're going to move to our hives today. We're in California, and we're taking our bees to the almond fields to pollinate almonds. Good morning, Paula.
And I'm putting a scoop because I know this is probably a pretty strong hive.
Yeah.
You know, when I see raw frames and stuff. Now, I used to be coming out putting new frames in that I have drawn and all that. This time of year, leave that cluster alone. You know, you start splitting that cluster here, and if it were to just get cold next week, then they're not going to come up. You're going to let them do their thing until it's time to get ready for almonds. And this is all. This can laying eggs. It promotes everything. Just good gut health. And it's a stimulant for that queen.
Good morning, Tom. Good morning, Chelsea.
And I'll make sure I don't go over the brood thing here. That one just, you see, it's trying to throw a queen. But I got brood.
Yep.
Brood.
Yep.
So, but it did throw a queen, so, Adam. What's the date? Check this queen.
I like that.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a brief thing, just so when you're driving up, you can see which ones you have to check. Good markings that these guys do. Say a hive's queenless. You're gonna put the date and you're gonna put a circle. That's queenless. Okay. Say you come back and just put a cell in. You're gonna come back and you're gonna put a cell. Say you come back or you're looking through it and you find a virgin. There's one that's got a and the date.
See, so you
And
just keep adding the line.
when we are doing check queen or when we put a mated queen in the box, we'll put a Q and the date. And then when we come back and check it, if she's laying, we just put a cross inside there. That's just us. A million ways to do it. None of them are right. You find what works for you.
Yeah.
Did we get that hive?
I think so.
Yeah, that one you did, yeah.
This one's got a screw, so you want to come from over here.
Morning, Bobby.
That, just give it some smoke.
You have to go from that side.
I'll get a better angle here. See, now when this thing isn't cold, it's going to be needs feed.
And why are you putting this on the bottom versus the top?
Because it opened this way.
Okay.
Just because it opened.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where it goes. But when we were trying to pull the lid, the top came off. So.
Hey there, Tim.
Need to be extracting honey.
Yeah, Tim, you need to be extracting honey.
You got that one already, so we're done on this rope.
Oh, okay.
No, watch man, he's pretty fast.
Okay, since we started the video, they've done 1, 2, 10, so 40 hives were done in probably less than 30 with 3. They're using burlap in the smokers, and on top of the burlap that's lit, they put on a day they'll put a wet piece of burlap on top to make it so the embers don't come out and burn anything up. Good question, Tim.
I use anything. I use burlap. I use leaves. I use cow shit.
Green grass will go good on top too.
Oh, green grass on top. So put burlap in there and then put green grass on top?
Yeah, anything wet. Yeah.
Anything wet. Oh, that's a good idea.
When it's hot, these will be the same as that. Are you smoking too much?
Huh?
You smoking my burlap?
You just got a grill on the bed too.
See, that one probably shot 10. I put the bottom because you saw there's not too many bees on the top, but it's down the bottom. This is a weaker hive. But it ate the patty. That's another good sign. You know, if this one's a weaker hive, and that's why I put feed bottom, and that's and also so we'll check it again, because when I put it in there, it only had a couple in the top and maybe 3 or 4 frames in the bottom, but it ate that patty. That means it's good chance it's got a queen. If you look in your box 2 weeks after you put a patty and they haven't eaten it, you're probably queenless. So they're not gonna need the feed, you know. It's something to check, because you know.
So if you come back 2 weeks after feeding that patty, it's still there. You need to go ahead and schedule yourself to come back and look in that
you
hive.
can do it now, but I know they ate the patty, and so I'm gonna let it go, because it's you know, we'll get this treatment on all our hives, and then we'll come back and start
Okay.
kind of looking through stuff.
So I got a question of here. What breed of bees do we have here?
Honeybees. This is America. You know, they're part Indian, they're part everything else. We use Italians. We started with Italians. I couldn't tell you the exact breed now because they're just from my survivor stock. Sometimes you'll find some that are black. So we got some Carnelian queens somewhere. I used to like to run all Cordovans, but you can't really find straight Cordovans anymore. Beautiful bees and nice and mellow. You see, these are kind of mellow. I mean, they're not bad. I've only been stung once so far. So I could lie, but I'm not going to. I couldn't tell you the exact strain of these things.
And yesterday we talked about how to find, if you're going to graft. Tom, this is for you. If you're going to graft a queen, then you want to use eggs from something local that you can pull out of a tree, something that has a little bit more a strength against the elements and such. You want to tell us about that a little bit?
If you can find, like that guy was talking about, wild bees. You know, around here you're not going to find any wild bees in a tree. You're going to find somebody's swarm in a tree. But if you can find wild bees in a tree, like he said, that would be a good thing to catch, because they're probably pretty resistant to stuff if they've lived there for a while. What we do is we go out and we'll start marking these hives when we're checking in January. And when we get to these hives that are just completely flowing over, we'll mark that lid. But then we're going to check it 4 or 5 more times before we decide to graft out of it. You know, and you're getting your survivor stock and your best stock, and you're looking for bees that not only lay a lot of eggs and are strong, but are self-sufficient. This is just what I do. You know, there's 1,000 ways that people will probably say I'm wrong. Then we're looking for bees that we haven't fed that hive all year, but it's been strong all year. So the queen's laying a lot of eggs, but they're also self-sufficient. They've always been able to collect their own stores, and you haven't had to be constantly feeding them. So we'll start marking for that in January. And half of what we marked, we'll decide not even to graft from. You know, we'll pick 10 or 12 hives, and that's what we'll graft from, out of maybe 100 that we marked.
And we'll be here in January, second week of January. We'll be coming back here, Stephen and I. Hopefully a couple more people will come with us, and we'll be learning the grafting process, or getting to see it anyway. So that'll be really exciting to see.
They'll eat it. We put it in last week on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, and see, this one needs feed. As soon as it gets a shot of feed, it'll eat that patty. This is light. Feel that?
A shot of liquid feed.
Yeah.
And they're going to stay here and do that now.
Yeah, and I wanted to test on you. I wanted to test. They'd eat this patty. This is the first yard I put this new patty on.
See, we've always put ours on the top, and maybe we should be
like in September when we're first starting to put some patties on top, no matter what.
So going into the winter, we should start doing it in.
Yeah. It's a catch-22. He told me they'd eat this patty on top. That's what I'm trying to find out. They might eat it by next week once they get a shot of feed. If they do, we'll put it in the top. A weaker hive, like some of these you didn't see too many bees, always in the middle. But
okay. Well,
like some patties you buy from some places, they eat really slow. You don't really want them in the top one starting to get cold and moist, because they get mold and soft and mushy. So we're you know, if you don't have to get to the bottom, you don't want to get to the bottom. Yeah, you know, when you're checking bees too, if you can come up here, see some good light-colored brood after you know you requeen the hive, why dig further? All you're gonna do is, in my mind, I gotta make sure you know this is just me, okay? And I've only been doing this 12 years, which is a baby in the beekeeping business. So this is just how I do it, and I don't know if it's right or wrong. I keep hoping it's right.
If your bees are living, it's right.
Yeah. Well, sometimes they're living, and the next day they're not. You know, beekeeping is disheartening. You have to be tough to be a beekeeper, because you know you have to like bees, number one, and then you have to be ready. I mean, your last year the national average is 40% loss. That's a whole you'd fold. We try again, you know, because and the good thing about is from your own bees. It's not like if everything dies, you have. So I guess that's why we try again. That's what you want them to look like right now. Just like that last one.
Okay, give me some feed. Ooh, they came out there.
All right, that's a yard. They'll check feed real quick, or Adam.
Yeah.
And we're gonna throw some of this patty on my truck, and we'll go over and take care of theirs.
So we're taking these with us?
Yeah, we're gonna take these with us. You just fed yours, right? No, but it means that we have to be careful when we're picking the boxes up.
Yes.
Yeah.
As you can smell when we're unloading, we still have to.
Yeah, it's a little fuel.
Okay, so we've been live for 26 minutes, just under 26 minutes, and we have done 4, 8, 12, 16, 18, 38 pallets, so 100, well over 100 hives. And we are done in less than 30 minutes, putting aside 100 hives in this winter yard right here. All right, we'll go live again when we get to our bee yard that we have temporarily here in California. Over at this, we're putting area. Everybody can go ahead and look up Bullfrog Bees. Henley Harlan is it's amazing, and we're really grateful for it. So I will talk to everybody here pretty soon. Thanks. Bye.